And our next story is from the Caribbean. Cuba claims that it has successfully thwarted a terrorist plot planned against the country. Havana alleges that the terror plot was hatched on U.S. soil and claims it has apprehended the alleged mastermind along with several others. Authorities say the Florida man who has been arrested with firearms and ammunition is allegedly part of a new recruitment plan aimed at carrying out violent attacks in Cuba. How will this latest incident affect already fraught ties between Washington and Havana? Our next report brings you the latest details.
On December 9, 2023, a Florida resident traveling on a jet ski came ashore on Cuba's northern coast. He wasn't a curious tourist or a local who had wandered off, but a terror mastermind from the United States who came with the plot to attack Cuba. This is what Havana claims. The man arrested was found carrying pistols, ammunition, and loading clips. An exhaustive investigation by Cuban authorities revealed that the suspect was heading for Cienfuegos and was arrested. Cuba claims the unnamed man allegedly had ties in South Florida with an organization enlisted under the National List of Persons and Entities Associated with Terrorism in Cuba. And he had even contacted several people to recruit them for burning sugarcane plantations, provoking disturbances, and handing out propaganda. However, his mission was thwarted by the swift intervention by the Ministry of Interior, who months ago designated at least 61 individuals and nearly 20 organizations under investigation for alleged terror activities. The document indicates that the Ministry of Interior has reasonable grounds and documented evidence to include them in the list, and adds that these groups have received funding from the US State Department and also from the CIA, which uses various entities and NGOs to deliver it. The recent arrests and alleged terror plot have further deteriorated ties between Cuba and the United States. The rift between the two countries dates back to 1959, when Fidel Castro overthrew a US-backed regime in Havana. Since then, ties between them have been plagued by hostility and distrust. In decades that followed, successive US administrations brought in policies to isolate Cuba. The island nation was hit with economic sanctions. The United States has sanctioned Cuba longer than it has any other country. Democrat President Barack Obama took steps to normalize bilateral ties during his tenure, but the Trump administration reversed these reforms. Biden too blew hot and cold with the island nation through his term. In 2020, when Joe Biden came to power, he loosened some restrictions. But a surge in irregular migration from Cuba posed new challenges for his administration. In 2021, Biden also upheld the Trump-era title of enlisting Cuba on the list of state sponsors of terrorism. Then in May 2024, the US State Department took Cuba off the list of countries that are not fully cooperating with the US on counter-terrorism efforts. While the Cuban government celebrated the State Department's decision, it called for the US to remove Havana from the Trump-era sponsor of terrorism list. Now, relations between the United States and Cuba could possibly be staring at another dramatic turn. Not just because of Cuba's latest charge of a US-based terror plot, but also due to presidential elections in the United States that are just a few months away. If Biden retains the Oval Office, he might be forced to take a harsher stand as illegal immigration remains an election-hot topic and a major concern among American voters. And if Donald Trump makes a comeback, he not just brings with him his policy of sanctions, but also his militaristic plans to block immigrants and deport millions of them.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment. So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for our future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
On the show today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon has moved across to the West Indies.